The Rowan County clerk goes face-to-face over couples demanding marriage licenses. I'm Sam Dick. Live team coverage coming up from the standoff here at the courthouse.
We're tracking the investigation into a deadly shooting in Jackson County.
For the second time in a year, 2 individuals broke into the Regency Animal Hospital in Lexington.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
Good afternoon. A showdown this morning in the Rowan County Clerk's office as the clerk again turns away a couple requesting a marriage license. A temporary stay allowing Kim Davis to continue her refusal expired at midnight. She is now defying court orders by not issuing the licenses. WKYT Sam Dick begins our top story team coverage live from Rowan County, where people on both sides of the issue have been gathered all day. Sam?
Good afternoon, Amber. If you were to drive by the Rowan County Courthouse here in Moorhead right now, well, this is what you'd see, except for the television crews like us. This place is vacant. All the supporters and protesters that were here earlier have left the courthouse area. But believe me, up till about an hour ago, it was like a carnival out here on the lawn in front of the courthouse. Music playing, some people dancing, others waving flags. On the left side of the courthouse, people in support of same-sex couples demanding marriage licenses. And on the right side of the courthouse outside, supporters of County Clerk Kim Davis. Now, that conflict came out in dramatic fashion earlier this morning in a face-to-face argument. At least 100 people crammed into the clerk's office to watch the showdown between Clerk Kim Davis and a same-sex couple. David Moore and David Ermel made attempt number 4 to get a marriage license at the Rowan County Courthouse.
This is about discrimination, and if we go anywhere else, then we are saying that we're giving into that, and I can't do that anymore. We've done that for our entire life.
This is our home now. We have the same rights as everyone else. She just needs to uphold the law and do what's right.
We have accommodated people's beliefs and feelings our entire life, and we're not doing that anymore.
Coming up at 6, the personal sacrifices they say they've made to be here for this moment. Up until about 8:20 this morning, not everyone was exactly sure what the county clerk would do. But then she did what she's done since June, and that's refuse marriage licenses to anyone, including same-sex couples. Our Victor Puente has much more on the controversy, the scene here earlier, and the people involved.
Now that the clerk's office is closed, the crowd has pretty much dispersed. But there were vocal people on both sides, letting Kim Davis know how they felt about the job she was doing. That crowd was sounding off before the county clerk's doors had even opened this morning.
But it's the lifestyle that we hate, and they try to push it on us. And we don't like stuff pushed on us, you know?
I don't want to see anyone be arrested. I don't want to see anyone be punished that hard, but she's got a choice.
Once Davis denied a few more couples marriage licenses, national media took notice. There's almost as many cameras as protesters, and the sheriff's department is making sure the crowds remain peaceful.
Anytime you get a large crowd together and they're emotional, it's always good to pay close attention to what's going on. But we didn't have any problem.
Many of those supporting Davis say this could have been avoided had Governor Steve Beshear acted to move marriage licenses online.
He didn't care about wasting taxpayers' money whenever he excused Jack Conway from appealing the federal court decision that required Kentucky to recognize same-sex marriages out of state.
But those on the other side of the sidewalk say Davis should do every part of the job she was elected to. They think this Thursday's hearing could be the end of the ordeal.
Hoping she opens her heart up, hoping she realizes that there's nothing more she can do, and she put up a good fight, and I commend her for sticking for what she believes in.
One of the people supporting Kim Davis, Randy Smith, told me that he believed the presence of Moorhead State University was responsible for the majority of the people protesting against Kim Davis. Those protesters told me they would be in Ashland on Thursday for that hearing. In Rowan County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
There was more than talk today here in Rowan County at the courthouse. The legal developments intensified as well, as we learned that Davis and her deputy clerks have been summoned to federal court on Thursday. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy is live at the desk tonight in our newsroom tracking the latest on that lawsuit. Kristen, what do you have?
Sam, attorneys for couples who want to get married filed a request today asking a judge to hold Davis in contempt of court. That judge, David Bunning, has already ordered Davis to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples. If he does hold her in contempt, that means he believes she is not obeying the order the court issued. The judge could do a number of things if he finds her in contempt. He could send her to jail. He could order she pay a fine. We'll find out Thursday what happens to Davis and her deputy clerks. They are all scheduled to appear in federal court in Ashland Thursday morning. Could she be thrown in jail?
That is a possibility under a civil contempt citation. It's kind of this notion you hold the key to your own cell. You can get out when you comply with the law. Now, if I was a betting person, I don't think Judge Bunning will do that. I think what he may do is just issue a hefty fine, and it'll be a daily fine that will accrue until she decides to obey the law.
Davis cannot be fired. As an elected official, the governor would have to call a special session to discuss her employment. Her term will end in 2018. At the live desk, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Kristen, thank you. So this debate, this argument continues for at least another 48 hours and probably much longer than that. We know that many of you, our viewers, have been asking this question. Why hasn't Kim Davis, the county clerk at the courthouse behind me, been removed from office up till now? That's a good question. We'll answer that coming up at 5:30. Amber, back to you.
Right, Sam, we will see you then. Thank you so much, and we will continue to track the latest developments in this case. Just visit WKYT.com. You can also see the full raw video of this morning's confrontation between Davis and a couple asking for a marriage license. We are tracking the investigation into a deadly shooting. State Police, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, and the coroner were called to the scene on Chestnut Flat in Sand Gap about 1 this afternoon. WKYT's Sam Smith is at the scene with more on what happened.
Kentucky State Police say this happened around 1 o'clock on this section of Chestnut Flat Road. They say a body was found here around 1 o'clock today. They're calling this a death investigation. They say a man was found lying on the road with a gunshot wound. Kentucky State Police are trying to figure out what led up to the shooting. The shooter has been detained. He has not been identified at this point, though. No charges have been filed at this point. That's why this is considered a death investigation. The deceased has not been identified either. Police say there were witnesses to this shooting, and those witnesses will be questioned as part of this investigation. In Jackson County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Sam, thank you. Crews have repaired a broken gas line in downtown Lexington. Construction crews hit the line in the 400 block of West Main just before noon. The city had to close parts of Main as well as Broadway so repairs could be made. It took about 2 hours before everything was back to normal. Burglars targeted a Lexington animal clinic overnight. 2 people broke into Regency Animal Hospital on Regency Road. It's not the first time the clinic has been burglarized. WKYT's Mike Linden shows us what the thieves got away with.
According to Lexington police, for the second time in 3 months to the day, at around 2:15 this morning, 2 people broke into the Regency Animal Hospital on Regency Road in Lexington.
Around 2:15 this morning, Lexington police say 2 people broke into the Regency Animal Hospital for the second time in 3 months. The clinic's owner says the thieves stole pet prescriptions and flea and tick medications, among other items. Police say the thieves pried the back door open and were only inside for about a minute. The clinic's owner, Mark Dobbs, says thieves try to sell most stolen pet products on the internet. He says there's also a chance most of the items being sold online are fake, or in some cases, dangerous.
And so there's a lot of counterfeit product out there. I'm not going to say everything that you buy online is fake or counterfeit or obtained through unlawful means, but a whole lot of it is. And you got to be real careful.
Dobbs says had it not been for the newly installed security alarm that was sounding at the time of the break-in, that the 2 thieves could have come away with thousands of dollars more merchandise. In Lexington, Mike Linden, WKYT.
Lexington police say they do have that security video and they are investigating.
With the latest news on WKYT.com, join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Here Here is a look at the most viewed stories on our website right now. People want to know more about a woman killed in the parking lot of a McDonald's, the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in the Kim Davis case, and another filing in the same case. You can find those stories and more by going to WKYT.com. A manhunt today in northern Illinois after an officer was shot and killed. Investigators say dispatchers lost contact with the officer while he chased 3 men. When backup arrived, they found the officer with a gunshot wound. He later died. So far, police have 1 suspect in custody. Officers are using helicopters and dogs to help in their search. Family and friends said goodbye to a television photographer killed on air. 500 people attended a funeral for Adam Ward. He and WDBJ reporter Allison Parker were shot and killed during a live report last Wednesday near Roanoke, Virginia. Ward's brother and sister spoke at the funeral, saying his memory brings them more laughs than tears. A private memorial is being planned for Parker. The State Department has released another big batch of Hillary Clinton's emails from the time she served as U.S. Secretary of State. Among the more than 7,100 pages are complaints by staffers about the limitations of using emails to discuss sensitive diplomatic matters. Broad sections have also been wiped out, and 125 are now considered classified. The State Department has now released more than 13,000 pages of Clinton's emails. Police arrest a Madison County mother accused of getting high around her child. Berea police say they found Kelly Wendell passed out in a running car at Lakes Shell. We're told she had a yellow substance around her nostril and admitted she snorted a Percocet. Her 2-year-old was also in the car. She's been charged with endangering the welfare of a minor, drug possession, and public intoxication. It is a tribute to a fallen firefighter. Tony Greider's name will become part of the Johnny Edrington Memorial in Campbellsville's Miller Park during a ceremony September 11th. Greider died last September, a month after he was injured while helping Campbellsville University's band with an ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. The memorial honors State Trooper Johnny Edrington, who died in the line of duty in 1988. 3 more counties can apply for federal help following July's storms and flooding. FEMA added Breathitt, Fleming, and Perry counties to the list eligible for assistance. The storms hit from July 11th through the 20th, causing damage and deadly flooding throughout the state. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Parents spend a lot of time searching for the right car seat for their child, but the seat they choose might not be the best fit for the car. As Clark Powell shows us, researchers say cars and car seats don't always align well, and it could put some children at risk.
Megan Murphy didn't want to skimp on safety, so when her first son was born, she bought a highly rated, higher-priced car seat, only to find out once she got it home, she had to use a pool noodle to make it fit right and stay level.
I couldn't believe that the car seat that we had purchased wouldn't work in our car. I thought we had a standard car that pretty much any car seat would work.
That's not uncommon. In a soon-to-be-released study from the Ohio State University College of Medicine, researchers measured things like the angle of back seats, their width, and the role headrests play. In an extensive compatibility study, they tested 59 car seats in 61 vehicles for a total of nearly 3,600 combinations, and the results were surprising.
Not every child seat fits in every vehicle. Roughly 40% of the time they would not be compatible, and we broke that down farther to understand that roughly about 35% of the time you would need that pool noodle or that towel to kind of tip it back to where it belongs.
Julie Bing is the research engineer who led the study. She insists that all car seats are safe and all of them have to meet federal standards before they hit store shelves. How they fit in your car, however, is another story, and improper alignment could create risks. Bing says before you go shopping, measure your back seat so you can compare the dimensions with different brands of car seats. And before you buy it, try it.
It might look great on the shelf, it might have all these great safety ratings, but if it doesn't fit in your vehicle, it may not be the best option for you. So we really recommend that parents see if they can maybe try it in their vehicle before they purchase it.
Otherwise, it may be up to you to find ways to make it level while making sure it's still safe. At Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center, this is Clark Powell reporting.
Amazon is testing changes to its free 2-day shipping for Prime members. The new program is called Shop by Region. It allows merchants to decide how far their items will ship with Amazon Prime. The program is limited to sellers who ship directly to customers. Most Prime items ship directly from Amazon.